All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our TensorFlow course, and we're still doing our malaria custom layers module. Let's have a look at what we went over today. Now, yesterday, if you recall, we finally got our code to work, and I updated the files that we needed to update to reflect the new code. So let's do some light reading, and we can go over the code that we actually implemented. So let me find it here. Next, we will update. Nope, that's not it there. If we ran the code like this, we will get an error. So to fix this, we will include the shape equals function to both our self-weights and self-biases. So let me show you that really quickly. I'm going to show you everything step by step to show you everything we did to fix our errors. So we had to add this shape equals function here because it was saying that our shapes were off. It was given two different shapes, a 2 and a 1. I'm not sure why it was given two different shapes. Maybe it's picking up something from the previous data that we inputted over, but whatever the case may be, we had to fix that by adding the shape equals to both the weights and the bias. So that was one step there. And then we're still not done yet. If you try to run a code like this, even after adding the shape, we still get an error. So to fix that new error, because it was let me show you the error that we were getting first and foremost. I'm not going to show you the error. I'm going to show you what was throwing the error. So if you recall, this was self-weights and this was self-biases. So this was throwing the error because since we added the shape here, it was picking up as a new piece of, it was picking up new code. It is new code actually because we changed the variables. So it was conflicting with the previous code that we brought over. You know how everything feeds off of one another. So this no longer was corresponding to the previous code that we brought over. So this was throwing an error also. So we had to fix this by adding a self.w or changing it from self.weights to self.w and changing this one from self.biases to self.b. So that's how we fixed that one. And you can see we have that here. To fix the problem this time, we would need to change our variables. So instead of self.weights, we had the self.w and so on and so forth, like I explained. Now we will also need to change the variables inside of our return functions parameters to reflect the change. But instead of having to write out the code a bunch of times, we will create a new variable inside of our call function and call it pre-output. This pre-output will be assigned to tf.mole input features self.w because of the new variable plus self.b. From here, we can set the return .tfnn. Let me show you exactly. Instead of reading it out, I can just show you. So here's our new returns here. If you recall, last time we had a return, it was a return tf.in.raylu, and then it was this information here. Where's the it was this information here, the input features self.w plus self.b. So instead of having to write this out a bunch of times, we just invented it, or we just created a new variable and we assigned it to the tf.matmole. So this time we could just pass in the pre-output. Since pre-output is equivalent or assigned to this here, is the same as putting this here. Is just a lot less typing. So you can see here we have the return tf.nn.raylu pre-output. For here we have the return tf.math.sigmoid pre-output, and then for the else we have return pre-output. So all of the pre-outputs are equal to the input features self.w plus self.b. So the only thing is it's to save ourselves some extra typing. We just assigned it to the pre-output and put the pre-output in its place everywhere we needed to put it. So basically that's it there. Now hold on, let me see. I moved too far down. Now running this should be fine. We can move on. After running, we can see that we have successfully created our model, the same exact model we've been building from the start. But this time around, we're using the custom dense layer, which is our neural dense layer. And I can actually show you that really quickly. Remember, I brought over one of the old layers over so I can actually compare the old layer to our new layer and show you exactly what's going on and see if we actually are getting the same thing. So the one on top here is going to be our original layer that we brought over. As you can see, it's still a net model here. You can see our parameters, everything with the information, the COV 2D, max pooling. Let me see if I can go down and show you the parameters. You can see here we have our total parameters 46 million, trainable parameters 46 million change, non-trainable parameters 2,244. And the one on the bottom should be our new custom layer. You can see it's a sequential is the name of it because that's what we use. We built it off of a sequential model, but you can tell it's a new model because you can see here that we have our neural dense layers instead of the regular dense layers. We have our neural learn dense. neural learn dense, neural learn dense. So you can see this is our custom model that we built here from scratch by ourselves. And you can see it's exactly the same as the model we've been building all along. Total parameters 46 million, trainable parameters 46 million and change, non-trainable parameters 2,244. So our custom layer is up and running, and we have built it from scratch, and everything is the way it should be. So now we can move on. And the next thing we're going to do, I'm not going to do this live because you know of the time constraints. We're going to actually compile and train our model. So you can see here we have our Lynette custom.model compile, and then we have our history equals Lynette custom model.fit. I'm going to do these two behind the scenes because you know it's going to take way too long to do it live. But yeah, I'm going to do that overnight, and I will show you guys the results in the morning. But everything is caught up and everything is back on track. Our hiccups are fixed as of now. So yeah, we're going to be moving forward. And of course, I will keep you guys posted every step of the way. But for now, this is the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.